this shit. Let's put it in there. Oh, I dropped it on my shoulder. Oh. I don't like it. Hello there. How are you guys doing this evening? Today I wanted to do a very special episode about self-care. Now, when you say self-care, people think of a lot of different things. I mean, you got a long list and a lot of different varieties. People think, oh, should I eat out more, sleep more, hygiene, whatever. But what people don't really think about a lot, there's really two different parts of self-care that I feel like are very underaddressed. The first is, of course, the mental side of self-care. And what I mean by the mental side of self-care is the relationships and general sort of mental stresses that people go through. And, this ties into other videos I've talked about self-improvement and whatnot, and you could be your worst enemy and all that other jazz. So, in a way, self-care isn't just taking care of your body or, depressing and distressing or taking care of your needs or whatever. There's a whole mental component to self-care that exists. Part of self-care, and the part that's not really talked about a lot, in my opinion, is choosing who you interact with and why. And so this is something that I feel like isn't addressed a lot, especially with young people. I mean, it's almost a void. People are taught from young ages, right, how to make friends, how to build relationships, how you sort of increase your social circle, how you meet more people. The thing that isn't taught that comes with age and experience is how to unfriend people. And this is something that, is a weird topic when you bring it up because people, it's so easy to make friends and to meet people at all the apps out there, Tinder, Bumble, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, on and 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 on. You could add a friend at the click of a button and boom, you could start talking to this person. But what's not talked about and what's infinitely harder for a lot of people is breaking those connections, going, this person's not good for me anymore, I need to stay away from them, or they're not healthy for me to be around, or it's a waste of my time dealing with this person because they're just being around me because they're benefiting from it. Like I'm not getting anything out of it. And I'm not saying to be selfish. There's nothing wrong with giving people the time of day. But learning how to sort of take a step back and allow relationships to fall apart is a necessary part of self-care and a necessary part of being an adult that a lot of people don't know how to deal with. It's difficult to break a relationship or break a connection. People struggle with it. And of course, you don't want to make a habit out of that, but you have to also understand when a connection that you're trying to nurture just isn't going anywhere. You're pouring energy into something that's not going to develop, that's not going to become anything. We don't teach people how to do this. We don't teach people how to assess if, for example, they're trying to get in a relationship and it's not, the person's not interested. So you end up with this awkward scenario where one person likes the other person and it never gets resolved because nobody wants to, say something. Say, look, this isn't working out. This isn't going to work. Like, people have difficulty going, you know what? No, I need to stay away from you because you're not good for me. Not because you did anything wrong, but because I'm emotionally involved in what's going on, it's affecting our ability to communicate. And that requires a awareness of self and a lot of love for yourself in the sense that you have to know what's good for you and what's not, right? If you know that you're enamored in this scenario just to a crazy level, and you know that being around this person is going to emotionally compromise you and you're not going to be able to make reasonable decisions, you're going to allow this person to treat you a certain way that's not good for you, you have to stay away from that person. At that point, it's better for you to keep your distance. And this is a part of self-care that isn't talked about. At least not from my experience. Like I learned that through bad experiences and relationships that have fallen apart and weirdness and all kinds of other stuff. But I feel like that should have been something that you, in my mind, dealing with unhealthy relationships should be, children should be being taught that, how to deal with unhealthy relationships, how to tell if someone's not good for you, how to tell if someone's not your friend. You know, these are all important things that are not talked about. Um, the second part, so I know I said the first part. The first part is sort of the mental side of self care, particularly when it comes to interpersonal relationships. The second part of that, the other half of that mental equation and self care is pretty simple, pretty basic. People are more accepting of it now, but they're still avoiding it. It's therapy. It's therapy. I know that's it. It's therapy. And people say, well, but, people talk about, yeah, that people talk about it a lot, but do people actually get it? So when you actually look at it and you look into who needs therapy and who actually gets it, there is still a lot, I mean, a lot of fear around getting therapy. And I'm not sure why that is. I've never understood it. Um, it doesn't really make sense to me. Um, Therapy is, in my opinion, vital, and I've talked to other people who share that kind of opinion. But yet, a lot of people still kind of don't see it almost as a sign of weakness if they have to talk to a therapist. They see it as they're doing something wrong or whatever. And I have my own opinions about therapy. I mean, I think it's very therapeutic, but I also have a weird aversion to it because I do feel that way somewhat. And I'll come out and say it. I do feel genuinely like me getting therapy makes me feel like I'm not in control of my life. It's probably why I haven't had it in a long time. Now, there's been a couple instances where I got therapy, but I've never really taken a lot of therapy, and I've been thinking about it more and more lately. Um, Mostly because of some personal stuff going on. But the point is that these two aspects, therapy, but also your interpersonal relationships, are some of the most important parts of self care that I can think of that are consistently overlooked. There's an enormous sort of sphere of self care that is around interpersonal decisions. If you're around people that don't care about you or aren't concerned with your well being, part of self care is getting away from those people. Part of self care is finding people that share your goals, your aspirations, your feelings, and being able to share with each other that. Because that's vital as a person, If you're in a position work wise where you can express your concerns or how you feel, that's self care, right? Being able to do those things, being able to express your emotions in an assertive but not aggressive way is also self care. If someone's bothering you in a negative way, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, right, or they're doing something to you, being able to say, look, man, hey, I don't need that from you, you know, that's self care. That's how you take better care of yourself in that aspect. Because you can't just, if you allow those kind of interactions to happen over and over and over and over and over again, it's going to diminish your love for who you are. It's going to make you feel, like you can't express how you feel. All those things tie into self care. Um, I'm getting a little into the weeds here, so to wrap up this episode on self care, it is, in my opinion, vital and crucial when talking about self care and thinking about taking care of yourself that you also look at who you interact with and look at whether or not you need help in the form of therapy for your own emotional well being. Having people in your life that share your feelings and your concerns is paramount to you feeling happy with who you are and being able to break down all these thoughts you have about things, whether it be where you're going to go, who you're going to be, why you're the way you are. All those things and understanding them require someone who understands them. Someone like, for example, a therapist who can help you sort of make sense of what's going on. Those two things together, in my opinion, are the epitome of self-care. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like, leave a comment, or subscribe, or do all three. All three are great. That's all I got. As always, have a great day.